What do a millennial and a pastor from Gen X have in common? Not much, but they love the Lord and they love life. Join us as Justin and Sam look at the lighter side of Bible, church, and life with Making Light of It. And welcome back to another episode of Making Light of It. This is episode number 6. Seis. What says you?
What says you? I always got seis and siete always mixed up as a kid.
Brother, you're talking to a gringo.
He's like, I don't even know what siete is yet. Till next week.
All mixed up. We have to work our way down the line to that one. I'm not even concerned about that at this point.
We're doing seis today.
Let's focus on one new word a day and have
seis.
that all worked out. So I don't know if you noticed my the shirt I am wearing.
Yeah,
right
dude.
now.
It's swag. You're tuned up.
Yeah, this is a throwback to last week's episode, which was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And our competition, our draft, which I'm assuming I won, so that's why I wore my victory shirt. Now, the downside is we're recording before the final results are in.
Yes.
So I am just jumping ahead of that.
I'm staying humble.
Which is the first time. So we are Sans, my brother. Without my brother this time around, but it was a good episode. It was nice.
It was great. It was nice having him on. It was a different pace. It was a great conversation at that.
Yeah.
So
and we have more coming down the line, so
Yeah.
just stay tuned to that. And if you want more of it and you have some ideas, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are on Instagram at Making Light of It. We're on Facebook at Making Light of It. We have an email at makinglightofitpod@gmail.com, which a few people have already taken advantage of, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
And spammers.
Love spammers.
Recently, we are getting hit by spammers who legit have no idea what we're about.
At all. Why won't you message me back?
And we're trying so hard to ignore them. And they
temptation is
just keep coming. I'm like, no, listen, I don't think my music is made for the populace. I haven't made any music.
I don't want to pay to get more subscribers on YouTube. So
like crazy. Right. I got a nickel. Will a nickel get me there?
Yeah, what can I get me?
But yeah, you can check us out on all kinds of different platforms. We're out there. Hopefully you're enjoying this journey. We're definitely enjoying this journey. And speaking of journeys, we're both on kind of a fitness journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on one really serious one for now 5-6 years. I guess we're going in 6 years. Last April 9th would have been my 6-year anniversary when I made a decision that I'm going to change my health. And I haven't been perfect that whole time.
Same.
But I've been dedicated to working out. I do notice times in my life when the diet is better, everything's better. But I haven't stopped visiting the gym.
Yeah.
And even over that time frame, I got my own home gym.
Yeah, you put it together. Nice.
Absolutely love it. Like my wife says, some people go on vacations. We just scoured Facebook Marketplace and made a home gym.
It doesn't get any better. What's better than not having to go in your car, drive to Planet Fitness, just walk to your backyard?
That's exactly it. Yeah, it works out good. Now, downside, there's no bathroom there, but there's nature.
Yeah, there's different ways of going about it.
I have fewer issues than my spouse does. Have you seen that meme where the little chubby kid, is looking down at his belly and he goes, "I did 2 sit-ups. Where are my abs?"
Yeah, I've seen that. I feel that. I resonate with that kid.
Doesn't it feel like, man, you had like a hard weekend or a hard workout and your body just feels sore and exhausted, and then you go and you look in the mirror and like, yo, that's the same guy.
Yeah. What did I do? Did it do anything for me?
Why did I waste all my time?
I need to go back to the toilet.
Gym? It's so crazy. So that's kind of what our spiritual food for thought is going to be on this time. In the same way, if you want to be physically fit, how often in a week do you think you need to work out?
It has to be daily.
At least, so your body's got to recover.
Okay.
So you need to work out more than you don't.
Yeah.
So at least 4. It's highly recommended 5 days a week. In the early goings, actually, it's 3 to 4. Like people are thinking, I got to hit this thing, I got to go, but your body will deteriorate.
Yeah, you want to pace yourself, get yourself into the groove, make sure you don't take yourself out right off the bat. There's nothing worse than that.
You'll destroy yourself before you get much better. But if you want to get in shape physically, you need to work out more than just 1 day a week.
100%.
Here's the concept. You want to get in shape spiritually, you need to do more than just work out on Sunday.
Yeah.
And getting in spiritual shape is a lot like getting in physical shape. In fact, like you get this wonderful feeling when you're finally doing it and you're finally going into it.
Big time.
Now, when you're just starting your physical fitness journey, your body, like it aches, it groans, it fights against you.
Man.
Right? It doesn't want to do all those things. But once you get into it, once you get a groove going, once your body starts to adjust to the movements, and you get this feeling of accomplishment, and your body is starting to get in the groove, and you become healthier, you're losing weight, you're building strength, you're building endurance, you're enjoying life more, you're being active.
Yeah.
And if you stick with that process, your body will transform into a lean, mean machine. Now, that's kind of the exact same way you get fit spiritually.
Definitely.
Like when you first start this transition, now I don't have as big of a come to Jesus moment in my life. I grew up in a Christian home. I came to Christ when I was 5, maybe 6.
Young.
Very young. I knew I didn't want to go to hell, and I knew there was a Savior to keep me from going to hell. And that was a constant in our life, a constant conversation in my house. So, like, I didn't have this, like, radical transformation. Like, I still beat up my brothers. I still stole their toys. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have this big...
You were still a sinner.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it wasn't, like, a radical transformation then. And now, as I got older, I would say my spiritual transformation probably happened in college when I started to figure out, this faith has to be my own.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any kind of, like, is your story, I know your story's a bit different.
It's a bit different, yeah. So, I mean, I think I came under, your leadership as a kid and youth group, and I think that was, years before that, my dad had planted a lot of seeds, a lot of scary seeds, honestly, more of, hey, the world's going to end, let's sit down, let's read Revelation. A lot of things were going in the world at that time, too.
He's using salvation with the end times.
Yeah, I know. He's like, listen, hey, we're going right to the end of it, and I'm going to show you, listen, this is why you need to get saved, all right? Forget all the butterfly stuff, okay? You need to look at the bad stuff.
So every mariachi band and the trumpets start blowing, you're freaking out.
Freaking out. Anytime I hear a car beep their horn, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, car. Anything longer than like a 30-second thing, or
is it now? Is it now?
Is it going now? Yeah, sometimes I'll hear things, but yeah, it was more like that. My dad would, raised in a church, so I was going to Sunday school, I was going to youth group. About that high school time is, so kind of flip side for us, is about that high school time is when I kind of departed in a sense and decided to go my own way in a sense. And later in years, after some experience, God had, I never lost that foundation that I was given, and that I was brought up on. So I had a home to go back to, and luckily, I call Cumberland County Community Church my home, and always welcomed me back with open arms, and has guided me to this day. And I can say from Sunday school to now. But a big spiritual awakening, I would say, in my early 20s. Early 20s would be the time that I would say I opened up, and I really, opened my eyes to God and see the seriousness of it, and see, it has to be my own, and I have to live my faith. I can't just say I have it and I'm good. You know what I mean? Right. That's the big kicker right there.
Yeah, Dad's threats of the end times.
Yeah, I haven't read Revelation since, so.
Revelation, crazy book. So as a pastor, Revelation is one of those, like, that's like a Mount Everest thing. Like, if I ever get to the point where I'm preaching on it, like, that's gonna be my Everest. Like, it's this huge mountain to tackle. This ability to say, I don't know what I don't know, and go on from there. And most pastors and theologians who do a good job teaching on it essentially come up and say, this is what I think it might be. Yeah. There's a whole lot of confusing. If you think about John in that situation,
if John couldn't comprehend it that much, so.
Right? So he had a hard time. That's some scary stuff. That is a tough way to grow up with that looming fear. Did you ever watch the Left Behind movies?
Left Behind, but I think before Left Behind, I watched a movie literally called Tribulation.
Wow.
And I forget the actors that were in it, but it was based all around the idea of the Antichrist coming in, and these people, these Christians that were left behind that are, being awoken, I guess, at that time to the reality of things. And, they're fighting against the Antichrist himself. And literally it ends the movie with them in an elevator in like a furnace type of situation. But they're good, They're just standing there worshiping.
Never seen that. The Left Behind movie series were terrifying.
Yeah, that alone, definitely terrifying.
There's one scene in the Left Behinds, or one clip in one of the Left Behinds, where the rapture happens, everyone's gone, mass chaos, all that kind of. But then the next Sunday, there's a pastor who shows up to his church.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is terrifying.
That always confused me as a kid, and I think as growing up now, I understand it a lot better. Is the understanding behind it. But yeah, like how could you be a pastor and be left behind? Like,
Yeah.
Make it make sense, please.
How
Yeah.
terrifying is that?
That's when you double wide. Like, oh,
It's like
yeah,
there'll be those who say, Lord, Lord, and I say, I never knew you.
passage came to life there.
Oh,
Yeah.
like that one, I was a good old Baptist boy growing up, so I knew exactly what that meant. Like even as a Baptist, I was getting saved all over again that night.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Like just
I don't blame you.
terrifying stuff. So, like when we talk about our spiritual growth and our spiritual fitness, it harkens back to the same kind of attributes and the same things you're going to do for your physical fitness.
Yeah.
You got to be consistent with it, and you got to get at it day after day after day. You can't just once a week go do something and hope that it works out.
Right.
Soon I'm going on a trip. I'll be doing some prison ministry, and I know that my physical endurance is severely lacking.
Okay.
But my time between now and then to get that right is very limited.
little.
If I go and I run like 5 miles tomorrow, it's not going to make me better next time I go out on court.
right.
I should have been consistently doing this through the thing. So our spiritual walk should be the same thing. And I gave you a passage from the book of Acts about
Yes.
Paul and Silas. They traveled to Berea and they're meeting. Why don't you read that for me?
Yes. So Acts chapter 17, verse 11, it says, "Now these Jews were more noble than those in Thessalonica. They received the word with all eagerness, examining the scriptures daily to see if these things were so."
So this is what I really love about it. They receive the word with all eagerness.
All eagerness.
Like they're ready. They're
Love.
hungry. Like people coming in, they're breaking it down. They're all in on it. And then they took it a step further, examining the scriptures. How often?
Daily.
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 How often?
Daily. Every day.
Weekly? No, every day.
Single
So there's
day.
two elements we can take out of this. Yes, they heard good word. Yes, they heard like some expository preaching.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And then they're like, oh, that's great. So they wanted more of that. And then they would follow up on that and they would examine it to confirm that.
Yep.
Like how many people, we're just recently in a situation where our head pastor, and I'm going to call out, I'm not you're going to use names, but there was a miscommunication. He thought an event started at one time,
Okay.
and the event actually started at another time. So the people who are in charge of the event actually ceded to him
Yeah.
because he's the pastor. I can't tell him. I'm like, what? But he was wrong.
How do I say
Like it
this?
was supposed to start at this time, not at this time. And there's this overwhelming mindset that, well, if the pastor says it, it must
be
be true.
right, yeah.
Don't listen. I pray that people have a pastor they can trust, and I pray that our congregation. I know we can trust our pastor,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't mean like you can't follow up on it
Definitely.
and confirm that. When I preach and I write and I use sources, I have all my sources right there. Say, hey, I want people that like. If you ask me for my source, I'll give you all the sources, what I did to put this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
You can go through and follow up on that.
Yeah, that's huge. They're not just taking what they're told, right? They hear it and then they double check it themselves. It's kind of different from our culture today, which will take anything from the internet and just believe in it. I mean, I think it was trending years ago where the brake light fluid. Go inside and get the brake light fluid, or not the brake light, the turn signal fluid.
Yeah, turn signal
and
fluid.
The people were actually going in there. I think it was kids mainly,
Yep.
but they were looking,
It was
asking
parents
for
messing with their teenagers.
I'm like, that's good, but. Example, they didn't research to say, hey, does this blinker even take fluid?
Right.
You know,
They just
go with
trusted in it.
They trusted in it.
You should trust
And so
your
there's
parents. I get
there's
that.
definitely an element of trust that should be there, but there also should be an element of, hey, I want to make sure I verify this for myself, because one day you're gonna have to do that yourself. Like when I was reading the scriptures and when I got serious, I was reading it by myself. Like I had my people around me that I could ask questions to if I had them. But there's nothing better than just diving into
You were
scriptures.
starting that journey pretty much on your own,
Yep.
going after it, and that's
Let him give you the wisdom.
So, like I liken this to the Israelites and the manna that they got when they're
Okay.
in the wilderness. How often they get the manna? Every day, except for Saturday.
Yeah.
We know, or Friday, double
Which they
portion
still had
for
yeah,
Saturday,
still
but they had
it.
enough for
Yep.
every single day. So just like that, and you remember the prayer. Jesus taught us a prayer: "Give us this
This
day
day
our daily
daily
bread."
bread.
Like for today. So every day is its own day. Every day you're getting your own thing going
Yeah.
into it.
And no matter what it means in your life, like no matter what it costs, search the Word with eagerness. Examine it.
Get at it.
Study
So
it.
if you want to get physically fit, you want to get spiritually fit, you got to get into the Word. Don Shula said this about success and about people growing. Don Shula says, it's the start that stops most people.
It's the start.
It's the start
that stops most people.
Now,
yeah.
as a physical trainer, I've heard many people say, I want to start working out. I'll start next week. Or I'm going to start my diet on Monday. How many times have you heard that? I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start on Monday. Listen, if I had $1 for every time I said I'm going to start on Monday.
Same.
And this Monday turns into next Monday, turns into next Monday. The best time to start the process is right now.
Now.
When's the best time to plant an apple tree?
Yesterday.
5 years ago.
Oh.
5 years ago is the best time to plant an apple tree because that means today you'd have fruit.
You'd have
the
apple,
second
yeah.
best time to plant an apple tree?
10
Today.
years ago. Oh. Today. Sorry. I tried to do math.
Mayor Rob, I can't deal with him. He doesn't know these things. He's jumping in on all these things.
He's learning.
He's learning.
It
Is he,
sounds
though?
smart.
The best time. Yeah.
It didn't work.
There is your problem. So there's another quote out there that says, you don't rise to the level of expectation, you fall to the level of training.
Okay.
You don't rise to the level of expectation, you fall to the level of training. So we have all these hopes and dreams, like I want to know the scriptures, I want to be walking with the Lord, I want to sing these songs like I actually mean them, I want to be able to study the Bible and speak to my Savior and know that I'm in tune. But if you don't train for it, if you don't work for it, you don't practice it, you'll never get there.
Not going to achieve
You're
it.
going to fall. Like, if I want to be a great basketball player, what do I need to do? I need to play basketball. I need to practice basketball. I need to pull these things out. If I don't, the game is going to show where I trained,
Yeah.
how I trained.
Yeah, you'll be noticeable.
So all that stuff. So I gave you, I think, one more, right? In Psalm 119.
Psalm 119. Psalm 119:11, and it reads, I have stored up your word in my heart that I might not sin against you.
So that's very simple. It goes back to the daily thing. Now, I gave you that verse to set you up for the verses previously to it. And I think we too often miss like 9 and 10, the verses that lead into it. Okay. Now, Psalm 119 is broken down in a whole bunch of different chunks. Why it wasn't a bunch of different chapters, I don't know. But look at verse 9. How can a young man keep his way pure? It's just a simple question.
Yeah.
And he answers by guarding it according to your word. That's the best way to stay pure, is to get into the word. And then in verse 10, with my whole heart I seek you. Let me not wander from your commandments. And where do we get the commandments? From the word. And then it says, I have stored up your word. In order to learn these commandments, in order to guard with the word, now, verse 11, I store your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And you can continue reading just the next few verses, but verse 15 is another one I want to highlight. In 119:15, I will meditate on your precepts and fix my eyes on your ways. Verse 16, I will delight in your statutes. I will not forget your word. It's like, and listen, well, let's be real. The word he had in Psalm was not as fuzzy-wuzzy as the scriptures that we have.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking about the first 5, the laws, the heart, like that's the stuff like he's diving into, like he can't get enough of it because that's the way God's communicating to them.
Yep.
And that's exactly it. So if you want to be physically fit, you gotta work out.
Work out and internalize his
Regularly,
word.
all the time. So the statement I always tell people always ask, how do you do it? Eat better, move more. That's a simple rule.
Yeah.
With the scriptures, I would say, like, do better.
Yeah.
Read more.
Read more. Yeah.
That's kind of like that's just simply it. And the way you start to figure things out is by getting into the scriptures.
Yeah.
And there's so much in there.
Can't do it without opening that book. You don't open that book, you're not reaching that full potential that you could have with Christ.
I have a statement. We're probably unloading way too much information in this one. I have a quote that I write in the. I have a bunch of quotes.
Yeah, I see.
I want to make sure I'm reading the right one. I know which one I want to read. I just don't want to mess it up. But there's a quote. I can't remember who does it. But it basically says, this book will keep you from sin.
Okay.
And sin will keep you from this book.
Ah, yeah,
Great quote.
that is great.
At one point in time, I knew
so
who
true.
to attribute that to. And now I have no idea.
That's powerful.
All right, I think we got that enough. Long and short of it, start working out, y'all.
Start working out. Open up the book.
Get into the gym. Get into the Bible.
Into the
Let's
Bible.
go. I'll tell you, from
Enhance
full
your
experience,
spiritual life.
The when I started taking care of myself physically, my spiritual life grew too, because God's like, He gave us this one body, this one temple, and you start taking care of that, and you start diving into the scriptures. Man, I'm telling you, folks, get in it. And
Scripture says how not good it is to be a sluggard either, and when you're
Right.
not physically, keeping yourself
Oh, my
in shape,
goodness, it
especially
is, Phil.
spiritually, you're being a sluggard, and
Yeah.
that's just no good. You lean, more towards other things than God. So yeah,
Being a
stay fit
sluggard
in both
is
ways.
No good. I'm writing that down.
No
Excellent.
good.
All right, Mayor Rob, we got. We need to lighten this load a little bit. What do we have on tap right now?
We have Would You Rather.
Would
I
you
like would
rather?
you
All right,
rathers. Give me 'em.
Give us one. There,
All
bud.
right, first one up. Would you rather only watch one single movie for the rest of your life, or only eat the same food for the rest of your life?
So one
Food?
movie.
Same food or meal? Like it has to be that meal, or it can be this category.
I'll
of
give you the
food?
meal. I'll
The
give you a meal.
Okay,
So one
that
meal
makes it easier.
for the rest of your life, or one movie for the rest of your life. Now we just came off the movie draft last week.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was one of the most fun times reminiscing on all those
Yes,
things.
big time. I love that.
Hashtag winner. But hopefully,
We shall see.
we just came off that draft with all the movies, and you'd have to eliminate, like, we had a list, like, when we started
So
getting
many.
into like 20, 30 movies, and then we just touched it.
Didn't even make it too.
One movie or one meal. Now, if it was one meal, let's say this is your last meal. What meal?
last
your
meal,
last
that's
meal.
even
What
more
would your
pressure.
last meal be? Okay, while you're thinking about that, I'll get. So mine would be, if it's my last meal, you don't have to worry about calories because it's the last
Yeah,
one.
it's the last one.
There's no chance to have to work out.
It's gonna go away.
I'm a big fan of lamb.
Yeah.
And I would do lamb chops.
Okay.
All like just stack them. Like give me a whole pile
Yeah.
of lamb chops. I want lamb chops. I'll probably do like I don't know if I want to do baked potato loaded mash. Like it has. I'm assuming it's the best of the ones I've had. Probably loaded mashed potato.
Okay.
Just absolutely delicious. I do enjoy good corn on the cob to kind of add. I'm trying to round my meal out
I see.
here.
I'm-
I don't know if I would go.
I'm hungry now.
Maybe I just sit there for looks. The corn.
It looks. It's.
But so yeah,
Aesthetics.
definitely lamb chops. A little, the lollipop on the bone.
Yeah.
Ooh, good. Some good loaded mashed potato. Dessert. I'm all over the place on dessert, but there's something about a soft, gooey brownie
Okay.
that I just love. Like
Like a gooey brownie, like
Yeah.
fudgy or gooey.
gooey.
Gooey. I
Gooey.
like fudgy.
Yeah. No, there's something about the gooey I like. So that's my, like, if I had one meal,
One
that would
meal.
be the one meal. What would yours be?
I would say go to my roots, and I'm gonna go pepper steak and rice.
Pepper steak and rice.
Pepper steak and rice. I'll do that any day, every day. Pepper steak and rice. Get some
Okay.
rice.
Every day, any day,
Well, that's my last day.
but no movie.
No, because
So, okay.
I can't deal with the same thing on the TV every single day.
All right, so-
I could eat the same meal every
Could you
day.
really?
I can't do the TV every day.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be pointless for me.
Yeah, I think I would have. Well, we're talking movie.
I know. I
that's-
can even get tired of the best movie. I can.
I
get
like
tired of it.
movies.
The
I do.
best
I enjoy
food?
watching movie.
I'll never get tired of it. The
Yeah.
best movie, I'll get tired of it.
Yeah, I would have to go the opposite. So I would go. I'm going movie. I would have to do one movie because food. Listen, I go in hot streaks.
Yeah.
Like for like 3 or 4 months, I can eat the same thing, and then
Okay.
bam, I'm done.
Wow.
Like I need a new favorite thing.
Right.
And move on from there.
I've been getting the same sub from Subway the past like 15 years.
Really?
Yeah. Don't
Well,
get anything other
I'm
than that.
disappointed you're going to Subway. I mean, come on, man. Raise the bar here.
I don't like the Wawa chicken bacon ranch. Their chicken's not authentic.
So it's a chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Okay.
now that
That's good.
changed the tone there.
Well, I had bacon.
Italian herbs and cheese.
Mayor Rob, what would you do? Just real quick.
What would I do?
He has no idea what he'd do.
No, I don't. You caught me off guard there.
He
I
wasn't ready. He
wasn't
wasn't
ready.
He
ready.
had all that time to think about
was
it.
not ready. I'm listening to you guys.
He's like,
I'm being entertained here.
we're glad someone is. All right.
Yes.
Okay, give us another one.
Next one up. Would you rather live in a world without music or in a world without movies?
Right back on the movie topic. We're just piggybacking on
Yeah.
last week's
Music.
thing.
Sorry. Music.
Yeah, I knew you would choose.
Yeah,
you
all
would
day.
choose music. So, I think it would be movies.
Yeah.
I think I need movies, no music.
Visual stimulation there.
So yeah, I need the visual. I like to zone out and get out. I love music. I love listening to all kinds of different music. I love listening to, like, I'm like the B-side music listener too.
Okay.
Like that popular stuff that hits most of the radio stations. Specifically Christian radio stations, the stuff that we sing on Sunday morning. I have no problems with it.
Right.
I'm not huge listening to it all
Right.
the time. But I also could substitute a lot of that with podcast and having the Bible read to me on my app. Just putting that out there. But movies, I like to get away. I enjoy movies. I don't watch them as much as I can. I love the movie theater experience. Couldn't tell you when the last time I went to one is. There's just not as many good ones. As there
No,
used
not
to be.
today. That's for sure.
Plus, like, if you have like a wholesome righteousness about you, most of these movies you don't want.
And just one scene could ruin it
It
all.
ruins
Yep.
all of it. It really messes up. Mayor Rob, we got you. Is it going to be movies or music? What are you getting rid of?
I'm going to have to get rid of movies.
He's getting rid of
my
movies.
guy.
All right.
Music, there's such a different variety, different ranges. And,
You're more of a music guy. I got you. What would be really nice is, like, we just came off a draft. I would love to do like a music draft, but the problem is, like, we can't air the music on
That's
through the
true,
podcast,
yeah.
so it kind of limits it.
Copyrights.
But we can find we'll have to find a workaround on that, maybe, or like you have to sing. a
Yeah,
few
like can we
lines or
do we just
something.
sing our song and then that's it? Like, does that play? Like, I don't know.
It would be the
Yeah.
last thing that anyone.
That'll be
ever
our
listens
last
to.
episode.
It'll be on
Our
our
very
way
last
out.
episode. However long we're
Welcome
able
to
to
episode final.
That'd be the way,
As
go. The
you-
one where it ends.
As you hear our singing voices on that.
the way that we go out.
That's the way we go
we
out.
go
Is that a
out.
song too?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Sounds like it.
Na,
Sure, it
na,
could be. There you go.
na, na, na.
That's
Yeah.
called Kiss Him Goodbye.
Kiss them goodbye. Is that what it's called? So I was we had some family guests over there. I know they're listening to this podcast because they don't it. And listen, most people I'm pretty direct with,
Yeah.
and they're direct too, so it wasn't anything like that. And they're just like, look, when time's up, just let us know and we'll go. And that's fine. I actually greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we're listening. My son's playing the piano because we make him. He's just playing. I'm like, Javen, do you know the Na 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 Goodbye song? And that's how I know.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's called Kiss
Kiss Him Goodbye.
M Goodbye.
I think it's him. 'Cause
Him?
I'm pretty sure it's
Kiss Him
ladies
Goodbye?
that sing it. The original.
I really have no idea.
I'm not
who
sure.
sings that.
Well, we got some
Mayor
homework.
Rob, you may have to do some research. Kiss Him Goodbye.
Didn't they
You
used
got the
to
computer.
play this for like sports commercials, things like that? Na na na.
Yeah. Well, at the event.
Pretty
so-
sure they use it for a deodorant commercial too.
What?
Yeah.
I do know.
Yeah, Kiss Him Goodbye.
Kiss Him Goodbye. Okay. So we when Justin and I used to DJ and MC events, that was our we're out of here. We're
Finish
leaving.
the night song.
No. All right, I think we got time for one final one.
Uno
I see
mas.
there's a couple on the list. Robert,
Right.
Mayor Rob, you pick which one you like the most. Kick it out there.
All right, last one will be: would you rather have a photographic memory or the ability to read minds?
Okay, so this one's a
Ability
little
to read minds.
different. So basically, you have an opportunity to kind of remember everything you see
Yeah.
or know what people are thinking.
I'm gonna go with photograph.
Yeah, that terrifies
I don't think
me.
I want to know what everybody's thinking.
I don't think I want any idea. Very few situations with this workout.
Yeah,
in your
only if
favor.
I'm in danger, I want to know what people are thinking. Other than that, I'm probably not even interested.
So, like, the early Supermans, like, when he's learning, like, when he's trying to hone in his hearing and he can hear, like, everything.
yeah.
That's what I envision. Like, his brain just getting slammed.
Here's our gap, right? So I think of Daredevil, the movie with Ben Affleck, the Ben Affleck version.
Okay.
When he's in his little, casket
that the
thing where he
blind
sleeps.
superhero?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's blind. His
I
sonic
wouldn't
hearing.
know because it has devil in the title, so I wouldn't support that. I'm just putting that out there.
It's French. It's French for
Daredevil.
Daredevil, Cruella de Vil,
Like, I don't eat deviled eggs. I have angel eggs at my house. Okay.
But there's a scene where he doesn't see, but he can hear everything.
All the other senses
and
are
it's
heightened,
just
right?
all over. Yeah, and I'm just I couldn't do that. Or thinking of okay, bring it to a decent version. Bruce Almighty, with the scene where he's getting all the prayers at one time.
Yes.
I said at that moment, I said, "Nope, don't want to be gone."
It's like he puts them all in an email, and
In
they
an
all
email.
just start coming through.
Just keeps
then a
going and
filing
going.
cabinet, a filing cabinet.
He's trying to
blows out.
sleep, and he's like, "No, I got to shut it down," and he can't. It's I
There's
think
some,
of that.
There's some pretty funny
a
stuff.
good-
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Give me the photographic memory. Let me impress some people. Let me blow them
Yeah.
away there. All right, I think that's plenty for episode number 6.
Sace.
Sace. And now, obviously, comes a time. What'd you learn?
You like movies more than music. That is for sure.
Yeah.
You are a movie guy, and I will keep that in mind. We listen to music all the time.
We listen to music. I'm not saying I don't love
that's
music.
why I can say, no, I know you love music, but you love movies more.
If I had to go long term, that's where I'm going. Mayor Rob, what'd you learn today?
There's so much. There's so much to pick. Just something specific.
Loaded.
You got to
But,
narrow it down. Dead air is
of the-
great for a podcast, by
That
the
is
way.
very true.
And people love that.
The
hear him
one
breathing.
quote. The one quote that stuck with me was that stuck with me.
Okay.
Was it's the start that stops most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Don Shula. Yeah, and that is so true. And I learned that being a sluggard, not good.
Not good.
We got that
No
all figured
sluggard.
out. That's enough. That is a wrap for us. We will catch you guys next time. Again, don't be afraid to reach out to
Yeah.
us. We're on social media.
Hit us up.
And, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or email. I'm Pastor Sam.
I'm Justin.
God bless. Thanks for listening to another episode of Making Light of It. Please connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. You can find the links in the description of this episode. We would love to hear from you. Please feel free to email us at makinglightofitpod@gmail.com. And remember to like, share, or subscribe so you'll be notified when the next podcast is uploaded. Thank you, and as always, God bless.